On the evening of Thursday, March 31st, 2022, St. Paul's North End was set for an ordinary night. However, the calm was shattered by bursts of gunfire, leaving police to respond to the sudden chaos. As officers investigated, they discovered one of the shooters was legally carrying a concealed weapon. Initial reports indicated dozens of rounds had been fired, sparking a frantic response.
Copy. And it looks like the suspect vehicle is going to be a silver pickup truck. Is there a Bravo squad at Regions monitoring at all? There should be another victim coming in that vehicle that left. 363, did they leave in what direction?
Hey, stay right here. I know. Hey, where's the other person? Hey, get back.
Who is that?
363, could you add Hotel Alpha 105? Looks like they got one person in their car.
Yeah, okay with us.
Stay right there. Hotel Alpha 105 is just like a small Chevy sedan. Stay right there.
Dion Ford was a standout athlete at Central High School, excelling in both basketball and football. He played a pivotal role in his team's remarkable winning streak, securing 22 victories, including hard-fought matches against Minneapolis North. After graduating, Ford continued to pursue his passion for sports, playing at the junior college level in North Dakota and Wyoming. He later enrolled at Augsburg University in Minneapolis, majoring in engineering. Ford's bright future and charismatic personality inspired high expectations from those around him, including his coaches, parents, and colleagues. His friends organized multiple charity drives to honor his life, and the community established the Dion Ford Scholarship to support aspiring athletes like him in their careers. However, a haunting question lingered. Who was responsible for the tragic loss of this promising young life?
The investigation led detectives back to a Maryland supermarket on Thursday, March 31st, where Ford was being suspiciously tailed by two men. A breakthrough came when detectives obtained security camera footage from the market, showing Ford's interactions with the suspects. The footage revealed that Ford entered a nearby restaurant, only to be followed by the two men, who continued to shadow him. Their intentions became ominously clear when Ford returned to his Chevy Cobalt, parked outside, and one of the suspects approached him. As captured on CCTV, the suspect initially engaged Ford in light conversation. However, his demeanor quickly turned menacing, with his hands suspiciously lodged in his pocket. Ford, sensing danger, backed away cautiously.
The CCTV footage revealed a chilling sequence of events. As Ford backed away, the suspect's hand remained lodged in his pocket. Moments later, the suspect leaned into Ford's vehicle, possibly rummaging for something. Ford, sensing he was about to be robbed or carjacked, decided to take matters into his own hands. In a split-second decision, he managed to fire the first shot, striking his target. However, this would prove to be a fatal turning point. The suspect, wounded and enraged, pulled out his handgun and began firing wildly at Ford. Despite attempting to defend himself, Ford was struck in the head and collapsed to the ground, losing consciousness. In a horrific display of brutality, the suspect then shot Ford an additional 13 times as he lay motionless. When police arrived, they found Ford's body lying between the Maryland Market and a restaurant, surrounded by multiple shell casings. The scene suggested a prolonged and intense gunfight. Witnesses reported hearing 20 to 40 consecutive gunshots before calling 911. Medical assistance arrived promptly, and at 9:28 p.m., Ford was pronounced dead. The police apprehended the Chevrolet Cruze, finding the injured suspect inside. He was transported to Regions Hospital in critical condition. A search of the vehicle yielded no weapons. According to the criminal complaint, both men had pulled guns from their pockets and engaged in a deadly shootout. Ford, who had a permit to carry, suffered a fatal gunshot wound to the head. The investigation revealed that the suspect had shot Ford 13 times after he was already on the ground, lifeless. On April 4th, 2022, Ramsey County authorities issued an arrest warrant for 21-year-old D'Angelo Dampier, the accomplice of the carjacker. Dampier was identified as the individual who arrived at the shooting scene in a Chevrolet Cruze and fired additional shots at Dion Ford's lifeless body. According to investigators, the Chevrolet Cruze belonged to Dampier's girlfriend, Vivian. It was also revealed that Vivian had driven Dampier and his brother, 23-year-old Xavier, to the scene.
When Vivian backs in, you guys get out, you go into the store first, right? And then you go to the restaurant.
Yeah.
And then you run into this other gentleman that was involved in this. Do you know his name? You don't know? Okay. His name was Mr. Ford. Dion? Do you know Dion Ford? Have you ever seen him before?
No, but I just figured out who he hangs around.
Okay.
When questioned about the deceased Ford, D'Angelo claimed he doesn't know him or seen him before.
And some of the things I find you being very truthful, and some things you're not being truthful about. Now remember, we watched a lot of video. Okay? And you run back to the car because why?
I heard the shot.
Okay. So what does shots mean to you? I mean,
I don't know, it's just like, I felt something in I just felt a weird feeling. Because I didn't know who was getting shot at or who was shooting. I just had that feeling. It's like my body told me to go back to the store. And that's when I seen them two laid out on the floor. So I helped my brother up. I told her to help me call somebody to do something, trying to take me to the hospital. And he told me he couldn't move or nothing.
okay. So you had a weird feeling. Because generally when you hear shots fired in the neighborhood, which I'm sure you do, you don't run towards them, do you?
No. Depends if one of my homies or if one of my brothers is in that spot, I'm gonna go back. But if it's like all my people with me, I'm not gonna go back.
D'Angelo Dampier initially told police he fired 5 to 6 shots at Dion Ford's body, but later confessed to emptying his 9mm handgun. Dampier expressed frustration that Ford was being portrayed as an innocent victim, while he and his accomplice were being blamed for the murder. Following a thorough investigation, Dampier was charged with several offenses, including possessing a firearm, aiding a criminal, second-degree murder, and illegal possession of a gun. On February 1, 2023, justice was served when Ramsey County Judge Andrew Gordon sentenced Dampier to 25 years in prison. The state had requested a 36.7-month, approximately 30.6 years sentence, citing state sentencing guidelines, while Dampier's defense asked for 15 years. However, Judge Gordon denied both requests, stating that he held the first shooter, Bell, more responsible for the incident. In a related development, Bell's brother had already been sentenced for his role in the murder. A jury had previously found D'Angelo Dampier guilty of aiding and abetting second-degree murder. Bell, the first shooter, received a 30-year prison sentence after pleading guilty to 5 counts of first-degree aggravated robbery. The incident was sparked by Bell's attempt to rob Ford, who was licensed to carry a gun and fired in self-defense.
Touches your heart when you know who that person is. I showed him that I cared about him, and he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna try to, do well." This is a goofy kid that wanted to do well.
Every year, you're losing loved ones to gun violence. He has committed it's disgusting, and for him to be still walking I can't even fathom it right now.
What a tragedy!
Subscribe for more.